Hello, hello. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat. Just give me a thumbs up or yes, you can hear me. Okay, I am Keitha McAdams. I am the founder of Successful Solutions and a business process automation consultant, and welcome to Revenue Systems Live. Every Wednesday, I redesign a business process of a real professional service provider so that I can show you how AI and automation can create revenue systems that sell while you sleep. So before we begin, I would absolutely love for you to subscribe if you enjoy practical business transformation strategies like this. It's going to get really interesting. And if you're joining live, introduce yourself in the chat and let me know where you're watching from. Just drop it in the chat and tell me where are you from. All right, so today's profession is one that many businesses depend on every single day, and that is a social media manager. Now, please understand this does not mean that if you're not a social media manager, this doesn't apply. If you use social media in your business or you have a team member that uses social media for your business, this is still going to be very beneficial to you. Today's subtitle is the content calendar multiplier. It's where one system replaces months of repetitive planning for social media content. Now, most people think that automation is software. I think a little differently. Automation begins with understanding the business processes. And then only after we understand those processes do we decide where AI belongs. And that's an important distinction. AI does preparation, people decide, and then AI may draft, but people approve. So today you'll see exactly what that looks like. Again, my name is Keitha. If you're curious to know more about me, you can ask ChatGPT. I am the founder of Successful Solutions. I have been doing business process automation for, I would say, about 9 years now. So here's what we're going to talk about today. You're going to meet Jordan. Jordan is our social media manager, and we're going to look at the manual process that she repeats every month. I call it the manual grind. Then we're going to look at, or we're going to redesign her process, okay, and create the content calendar multiplier. And then we're going to examine what the automation engine actually does for not just her, but the business. We're going to look at the outputs and look at the business impact. So let's jump right in. Meet Jordan. Jordan has about 18 clients. She already has a documented strategy for each one of her clients, which includes their target audience, their brand voice, content pillars, posting frequency, their call to actions. She has all of that at hand. Now, every month, she still has to, let me move my video here. She still has to manually turn that strategy into a full content calendar for every single client. So that is the challenge. Now, think about your own business. How often are you recreating work that's already been decided? That's where we're going to redesign today. And here is the process. This is the manual grind that Jordan goes through every day. First, Jordan reviews the client's strategy. Then she manually plans every posting day. And then next, she writes every caption individually. This is where her bottleneck is. Not because she's doing poor work, but she's repeating excellent work 18 different times for every single client. And then finally, everything gets copied into a spreadsheet. Now, nothing here requires a new marketing strategy from Jordan. It's mostly executing an existing strategy. And this is where the automation is going to create value. Now, before we redesign this, I would like to ask you something. Is there something in Jordan's process that you can relate to? Let's go back and look at it. Reviewing strategies, planning a calendar, writing captions, logging things into a spreadsheet, whether it's for social media or not. Can you relate to any of these? If so, put yes in the comments. Let me know, let me know. So whether you're a business consultant or an accountant or an attorney, you may repeat processes every single week, maybe even every single day. So if you can relate to Jordan, I want to know in the comments, and maybe you can also tell me what feels most repetitive in your own business. Now, let's redesign Jordan's process. This is the fun part. Instead of Jordan starting over every single month for every client, the engine right here begins by pulling the approved client profile. So we're grabbing the client profile. What is their target audience? What is their voice, their brand voice, content pillars, call to action? She's gonna pull that information, or the system is gonna pull that information at the click of a button, and then it builds the monthly calendar based on the posting frequency. So within that system, it knows the frequency for that client or for each client. AI is going to draft the captions for her, not publish them, not finalize them, but draft them. And then next, the drafts are going to be checked against the client's approved brand voice that is on file. So it's going to take those captions, make sure that it is, it matches their brand voice. And then the correct call to action is going to be assigned. So let's say you have two different call to actions. Maybe you have an assessment, maybe you have a community like we do. Then maybe you want the call to action to be invite them to join the community. So based on that content, it will apply the call to action that makes the most sense. So finally, everything synchronizes into the tracker. This is actually my favorite part because AI is drafting everything and is pushing the information directly into a tracker. That's where Jordan can review everything, make updates, make changes, and finalize everything. So once she's published that piece of content on social media, then she can mark that off in her tracker, and she'll always know what has been published by looking in one place without having to go into social media schedulers and things like that to see what's been posted. Like she could literally do a search within her content app and pull that information. Okay. Now, I'm about to jump into a mock-up that I did for the content tracker. But before that, if you're wondering where automation could create this type of consistency inside your own business, I would highly encourage you to take the AI Business Growth Assessment. It takes about 3 minutes. It identifies where automation can save time and improve consistency based on your business. So it's personalized. And I will give you more information at the end of today's episode. Now, let's continue. Here's what we're going to do here. I am going to show you a content tracking system. Now, let's just say, again, Jordan is using or utilizing AI to pull her client's information, come up with the captions, the frequency, all of those things, and then it's pushed directly into her content tracker. So let's just say, okay, she has a few clients here, Okay. She's got her clients here. Let's just say all 18 of them are here. It has the business's name, the brand voice, the target audience, the posting frequency, the call to action. It has this information and is pulling from this in order to make suggestions for the content. And that content could look like, well, these are the different companies here. So those who post 3 times a day, if they post 1 time a day, and so on. Now, her actual posts, okay, would live here. Now, you can see here, this is based on the content pillar. So this could be designed exactly the way Jordan would need for her particular business. But I just wanted you to have an idea of the possibilities, because this can get, it doesn't have to be complicated, but it can get really personalized for you. Now, let's just say this is a Facebook reel. It has a post ID that's automatically assigned, the date it was published, the platform it was on, the content pillar, the caption, the call to action, all of these things. So Jordan can go in here, review everything, and approve it, use it or not, make changes, all of those great things. And so just looking at this is a dashboard. So when she first opens this, it could show her whatever she wants. It could show her how many posts were posted for a particular client on any given day. Let's just say she had a drop down at the top and she could choose the client, and then it would give her all of the information for that client. Even if she wanted to track her client's followers, the following, the fans, and things like that, she could do that. And then she could see the growth from month to month or from quarter to quarter. So you guys get, y'all understand what I'm saying, right? Like you can use, and this in particular is a Zoho Creator. It is an application within the Zoho application where you can create absolutely whatever you want as an app. Okay, so now let's go back. And I am going to show you guys the input and the output. Okay, so we are talking about one input, meaning she's just triggering this whole thing, and one approved strategy profile becomes 4 different valuable outputs: a completed content calendar, a full caption bank, calls to action already assigned, an updated tracking app, and then I just want you to notice the multiplication. All 4 of these things are done automatically. So all she has to do is go in and review, approve, make changes, tweaks, updates. And then the business impact. First, time was saved. A lot of time was saved. So instead of recreating calendars every month, Jordan gets dozens of her hours back within the month. And then second, capacity. She can confidently serve more clients without extending her workday, which means she can give more clients the same excellent output without adding more hours to her day. Like that is amazing. And then third, consistent quality. That's where every client is going to receive that same thoughtful process regardless of the workload, and then the ability to scale. She's no longer multiplying her efforts, she's multiplying a system. There's a principle in Luke 16:10 that says, whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. So consistent systems help us be faithful with every client as we grow our business and touch and impact more people with our businesses. All right, now automation isn't about doing less. It's about doing more of the work that only you can do. Jordan's expertise isn't typing captions. Her expertise is understanding her clients, creating strategy, making creative decisions, building relationships. And that's where people create value. The repetitive work just supports the business. It shouldn't consume the business. So now Jordan is free to do what only she can do. Yes, I am absolutely answering questions. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Absolutely. Let me know if you have any questions. And while you're typing your questions, I just want to remind you, if today's episode made you think differently about your own flow within your system, then I would like to invite you to take the AI growth assessment. Just scan this QR code or visit success.successfulsolutions.com. It's going to take about 3 minutes, and then you're going to receive personalized insights to where automation can help have the biggest impact in your business. All right, any questions? Any questions? I'm so glad you guys joined me today. I appreciate you spending your time with me. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm going to go ahead and close. You can still ask your questions. So please still drop those in the comments and I will still answer your questions. So thank you for spending part of your Wednesday with me. If you found today's episode helpful, subscribe so that you don't miss the future Revenue Systems live episodes. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. What professional service would you like for me to build a revenue system for next? Let me know. Until next Wednesday, keep building revenue systems that sell while you sleep. Thank you for joining me.